Hey, welcome to the garage. I've been putting this off ever since we bought this Jeep. And what have I been putting off? And it is kind of cleaning up this front end. And I need to de-chrome this. I'm not a big fan of the chrome headlight bezels and certainly not the chrome bumper. I've been putting it off because I need to get this bumper off. It's got these big holes in it where the winch plate was mounted. It's kind of dented on that side, which I don't care about, but it's chrome. I hate that. These top bolts were a little bit troublesome to come out. This one was broken, so you saw where I made a short of getting that out. But the bigger issue is the ones underneath. There are Torx T55 head, button head bolts. And these things they have been fighting me for days now. This guy right here. Can't really get anything on it. You can see where the shackle is right there. It's a button head, so you can see where I've kind of tried to grab onto it with a few things. I even tried my little baby impact. That didn't even think about touching it. So I did what I have been another thing I've been putting off for a long time, and that is I went and got DeWalt's biggest that I could find impact. So I'm going to see if this thing will get it out. I've been spraying this thing religiously for several days, trying to get with PB Blaster, trying to get it loosened up. Okay, let's put some heat on it. See if that'll do anything. All right, let's see. That makes a difference. Started to bring it out. It moved it. Seized up again. At least I got it out a little bit. You guys couldn't see that. It backed out maybe 2 turns. Okay. It's weird that it turned like 2 whole turns and then stopped. Does that tell us it's cross-threaded? Is that what that tells us? We'll let that cool, let it heat cycle just a little bit. I think while that one is cooling off to heat cycle, I'm going to try the same trick on this guy on this side. Hold your ears. Got that one smoky. All right, that one came out. Once it got going, it kept going. The weird thing about this other one is that it backed out about a turn or a turn and a half, and it locked up. And now I can't seem to get it to go in or out. Concerns me. I need it to move. Hoo-yah! So, map gas and 1,400 foot-pounds of torque. That worked. Those are hot. Don't pick those up. Okay, that's hot. Bingo. Oh, wow, look. That's what's going on. Check this out. Yeah. Let me bring you in here. You can see. I see why that bolt was hung up now. So that is what the insert looks like that these bolts thread into. And that's the one on the passenger side that I really didn't have any trouble with. I mean, it was stuck, but I didn't have any trouble with it. This one, that's a mess. So that has, oh my gosh, there's so much funk up in there. I've got to get that cleaned out. And I don't even know if that's going to be, is that going to be usable? I got to figure out what to do with that. That may have to be welded back in place. Weird. That's where all of my PB Blaster was going. This little guy was flexing up while as the bolt was coming out. So the bolt was unthreading and pushing that guy back up, and then it got bound up. So will that go back down? I got to figure out the right way to do that. This reminds me, I've got a dentist appointment coming up. Okay, some of you guys, I've been looking at this for a little while now. Some of you guys that have Jeeps and have been down this road before, you probably already figured this out, but it took me a minute. But here's what we're dealing with. You see this guy, let me get the camera right. This original, and this is a thing, I don't know if most cars do this, but Jeep, they do these captured nuts that then you thread into, and that's all fine and good until this breaks, right? And then you don't have anything to thread into. That's what's going on with the body mounts and all that. But you can see the weld where this guy is welded in there. This one is as well up on the top. And same over here on the top. But notice this one is on this little extra plate. So here's what I'm suspecting happened. At some point in history, this became, the welds broke. And maybe I'm wrong, but it's the only way that it's different. So it only makes sense. The welds broke. Somebody took this off and they basically welded this nut back to this guy. And somehow they've got this thing fastened in there. I don't know how in the world they would have done that up inside the frame, but nevertheless, it is what it is. The right thing to do is going to be to get this really super cleaned up and weld this piece back down. That's going to be a trick, especially since I have no idea how to weld. I'll have to solicit some help for that. Anyway, before I can mount that bumper back or mount a new bumper on this guy, I got to get that sorted out. Maybe that's something for a different day, but right now I'm going to get it cleaned up and take a further look and see how much more I want to do on this today. All right, so I got that kind of cleaned up. You guys leave me a comment and tell me what y'all love to tell me when I do stupid stuff. Is that normal, or is that an afterthought? Is that an add-on? I don't know. I got to figure out something to do. I do need to get the rest of this taken off, but I'm gonna take a break for today, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's been a little more than a day. It's been about a week. You know how life is; things happen. Anyway, so I went ahead and got these chrome bezels off. I'm gonna figure out what to do with those, replace them or repaint them. I don't know, but and then I took off this little piece across here that holds the was that a brake line. The big issue that I've got, and I'll bring you in and show you, is that this originally was a chrome grill, and the previous owner, they didn't prep it at all. They just sprayed it black. Okay, that's fine. But now, after years later, it's flaking off very easily. So what I've got to do is I got to sand all this off. That's going to take a minute. I won't bore you guys with all the details of that, but I'll bring you in and kind of show you what's going on with it. So this is a good example here of the chrome was still very much chrome underneath, and this kind of sprayed it. I'm not going to fault the guy for that, but because it was quick and dirty. But now I got to deal with it. I kind of started sanding on this corner up here just to get an idea of how much of a pain it's going to be. And what I've got to do is I've got to get through the black, and then I've also got to rough up that chrome really good so that it'll hold. I'm gonna professionally rattle can this, of course. But I got to get it to where it'll at least adhere somewhat. Obviously, the real way to do that would be to take the radiator out and take this entire thing off. I'm not going to do that because I really just want to make it look a little better. I'm not super worried about it. I'll go ahead and get these guys out, and then I'll get started sanding and see if I can prep this for paint somewhat. I'm the one that put this in here. How did I screw this up? Come on, you can get off of there. I have never struggled with cardboard so much in my life. Oh my gosh. Okay. Goodness gracious. There, that'll help. That was way more involved than I wanted it to be. Sanding. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to start with 220 and kind of see what that does. I don't know. This stuff is on here thick. Ooh, it's going to take a minute. All right. I'll get this done, and then I'll come back with you guys in a minute. So I'm making a little bit of progress. I'm not doing this by hand. I know I kind of started doing it by hand. I did break out my little cheapy sander because this is going to go a lot faster. I don't know. I'd like to have maybe a DA, but I don't have one. So I'm just doing with what I got. So I'm going to keep working on this, but I'm getting it there. What's going to be the trick is going to be inside these slats, and some of that's going to be a little tricky, but seems to be going okay so far. So I'll get back to it. I've spent the better part of a day getting this done so far. Most of it I was able to do using an electric sander, but I did have to get in there with my fingers on some of this. It's not perfect, and I'm not trying to make this thing to take it to SEMA or anything. It's a trail rig for the most part, so I just wanted to kind of de-chrome it. That's really the objective, is to get rid of the chrome. So I'm almost out of lemonade. I got this ready to go. What I'm going to do is run up, and I got to go find the right black paint. I want to go. I don't know. It's obviously not going to go glossy, although that would match this. But I'm thinking about going more of a semi-gloss. Probably not flat. I don't know. I don't know. I got to get some paint. So let me run do that, and then we'll tape this guy off and see if I can't make it look better. Already looks better, I think, even though that's okay. It doesn't. I got my paint, got it all taped up. I think I'm going to give it its first shot. It's as good as it needs to be for what it is. Good enough for who it's for, so they say. Good enough for government work. I I went with Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint plus primer, no peel guaranteed, fast drying, maximum rust protection, any surface. So this should cover up for any of my unprofessionalism when it comes to painting. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to give it a coat. Oh, forgot to shake. Shake, shake. What do you think? Start across the top and come down. Right now, some of you professional auto body guys, you professional painters are like just screaming at your phone, like, oh my God, you're an idiot. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, you're starting in the middle. Stop doing that. I'm going to do a light coat at first. This part down here was, I got it as good as I could, but it's, I don't know. Barely hit that. I'm just going to let that, what do they call that? Flashing? I don't know. I'm going to let it dry just a minute. I need a drink. All right, round two. Boy, this is flat. When it said flat black, it wasn't joking. This is seriously flat. I tried to get these little hood stops. I thought I could just unscrew them, but they didn't want to come out. I didn't feel like fighting with them. Please use in a well-ventilated area. Okay. Had to set up some kind of fan to blow some of this out of here. It was getting a little thick. So let's see. I need I actually like this paint for cheap $10 spray paint. That should do it. I'm gonna let that dry just a minute and get all this paper off and see what it looks like. Really? There you go. So I think that looks a lot better, don't you? I'm gonna have to. I got to do something with these chrome headlight bezels. That's not going to work. Don't like that. I was going to try to make these, repaint them. Are they plastic? I don't even know what these things are. I think they're plastic. Anyway, I think I may just try to source some, but buy some that are already black. But the bigger question is, what would you do with the bumper? Chrome or no chrome? Replace it, repaint it. It's going to be a lot of work. We're gonna have to repaint that, but I may try that first. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you would do, and also, does anybody know what's going on here? I got to figure out something to do with this, because as I thread in a new bolt, it'll clamp that little guy down. It'll be fine. But when you go to unbolt, then obviously the bolt pushes this little guy back up and it gets bound up. So, I mean, it holds and it may be fine, but is that from the factory, or is that something that happened later? I don't know. You guys tell me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for being with me on this journey while I work on Mojo, get it ready for hopefully Easter Jeep Safari coming up in the spring. But you guys have a great day. See you later. Oh, wait.